लाकय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So welcome to the Saturday and Sunday morning series on Sri Harinam Chintamani. Yesterday we were discussing from text 45 onwards, where Bhaktivinoda Thakur is speaking a few words about a true saintly person, symptoms of a sadhu. He is always Dina and is completely surrendered to Krishna, and he is always chanting the holy names of Krishna. And this is the personification of Trunadapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Sahishnam, Amani Namanadena, Kirtaniya Sada Hari. So this is the first point about the sadhu. And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentions that Lord Krishna's power rests in a sadhu. So from text 48 onwards, Bhaktivinoda Thakur starts dealing with this 48 to 53, how one who takes the name of Krishna is a Vaishnava and we should respect him. And a Mahabhagavat, he is the spiritual master of the entire world. He is the friend of every living being and he is the ocean of mercy. And one who criticizes such a Vaishnava, especially criticizing Vaishnavas in general and criticizing Mahabhagavats, one commits a very grievous Vaishnav aparadh, wherein he falls to hell and stays there birth after birth. It is only by the mercy of the Vaishnava one attains devotional service. And just by the touch of this Vaishnava, where Lord Krishna's spiritual potency lies within that body, others become devotion, others take to devotional service. And in this context, from the PPTs, we had a long discussion yesterday about this Bhakti Shakti, which was given as a footnote. So this Bhakti Shakti Sanchar is done by these pure Vaishnavas. The Ladini and the Samvit Shakti together form the Bhakti Shakti. And because this Bhakti Shakti has entered such a Siddha, who is at the stage of Bhava, and just by his darshan, just by his touch, people become Vaishnavas. And there are three powerful substances Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentions. Then from text 54 to 57, Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentions how just by sitting in front of a Vaishnava for a few moments, one can see the potency, the spiritual transformation or the spiritual potency manifest just by being in contact with the Vaishnava, even for a few moments. That is the potency of one whose heart Bhakti Shakti has entered. And those who are Shraddhavan, they can immediately experience that in their heart, and then they take up to devotional service. And they take the holy name of Krishna, and thereby they take to devotional service. So this was the discussion where yesterday we ended. So after narrating this, Bhaktivinoda Thakur in text 58 to 61, that is 58, 59, 64 verses, he mentions to find fault with a Vaishnava is blasphemy of a Vaishnava. Vaishnava raki ke dosh dharila, Vaishnav ninda hoy. And what are the faults we find? Jati dosh, Vaishnava's birth. Purva dosh, his previous faults in the beginning of devotional service, or his previous faults before taking to devotional service. Previous faults also we discuss. And the almost completely destroyed remnants of his previous faults, Nashta Praya Avishishta Dosh, and his momentary lapses, Kada Chitka Dosh. That is by Daiva, sometimes he might commit something which is, not generally he would do it. Momentary, some mistakes or lapses, what can happen. So here Bhaktivinoda Thakur is going to discuss what is the fault we find in Vaishnava and what is Vaishnav Ninda. Speaking about his previous birth, previous faults, almost completely destroyed faults, which while practicing devotional service, and his momentary lapses. So these are the four things Bhaktivinoda Thakur is speaking. And if you all remember, many who have been attending a Vaishnava Ninda course, Bhaktivinoda Thakur has described these things quite in detail. So let us take text 58 and 59. Vaishnavara jati aura purva dosha dhare kadachit ka dosha deki ye ninda kare nashta praya dosha loy kare apaman yamadande kashtapai se sabagyan. A person who criticizes the Vaishnava's caste, jati dosh, oh, he's an American Vaishnava, he's an Indian Vaishnava, he's an African Vaishnava, are purva dosh, previous faults, and nashta praya dosh, the almost completely destroyed remnants of his previous defects. So when devotees are practicing devotional service, they are, by the process of chanting the holy names, getting cleansed of all the material contamination. And this I compare to taking bath in a shower. When you're very muddy, when you're taking bath in the shower, now because you're standing below the shower, the dirt, the mud is being cleansed off. Similarly, because you have taken shelter of the holy name, the contamination is going on, is being taken away. But while one is taken up to the process of cleansing, and when there are some more traces remaining, and we point out that and we speak about it, it is criticism. And the fourth one, what is his momentary lapses? Kadachit ka dosh dekhi ninda kare. He criticizes. A person criticizes is a fool who will be punished by Yamaraj. Yamadanda kashtapaye se sabya agyan. So there is a footnote here. A person who criticizes a Vaishnava's birth, his lapses created by momentary foolishness, the almost completely destroyed remnants of his previous faults, or his misdeeds performed before he took shelter of Lord Krishna, commits the offense of blaspheming a Vaishnava. Such a person will not be attracted to the holy name. So this is the first effect. What happens when we criticize Vaishnavas? We lose the attraction for name. A person who takes shelter of pure devotional service, Shuddha Bhakti, becomes a pure Vaishnava, Shuddha Vaishnava. No one should pay any attention to his previous faults. No one should remember those faults. So this is Bhaktivinoda Thakur's footnote about this. Vaishnavera mukha nama mahatmya prachara say Vaishnav ninda Krishna nahi sahay ara. Lord Krishna will not forgive anyone. Say Vaishnav ninda Krishna nahi sahe. Sahe means Krishna will not forgive or tolerate one who criticizes a Vaishnava, who is preaching the glories of the holy name. Mahatmya prachar, nama mahatmya prachar. So it's not only that the Madhyam Adhikaris are preaching the glories of the holy name, and the Mahabhagavats, like the sannyasis, are preaching the glories of him. Even the devotees who have taken up to devotional service, they are also engaged in preaching. So here it refers to all Vaishnavas, Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama. And based on the gravity of the offense, it will have that kind of aparad. If it is for a Kanishta, the effect will be less. If it is for Madhyam, it will be more. For a Mahabhagavat, the aparad can be very severe, devastating effects. And Krishna does not forgive one who criticizes such a Vaishnava. Especially we see in the Mahabharata that Krishna's pure devotee, Draupadi, was insulted in that Raj Sabha, where she was tried to be stripped naked. And because of this offense, severe offense to the devotee of Krishna, what happened? What was the effect? That the entire Kaurava dynasty was completely eliminated in the battle of Mahabharata. So the Mahabharata battle happened, one of the reasons was of the grievous offense the Kauravas committed against the devotee Draupadi. So Draupadi, although she was insulted, and it took some time. Immediately, the battle did not happen. It happened after a certain time. And we see sometimes we commit offense, and the moment we realize we have committed an offense, we should immediately, in 1, 2, or 3 days maximum, take the remedial measures. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is going to discuss about the remedial measures. So we should take the remedial measures. As the time passes, it becomes difficult for us to, we tend to forget. Out of sight, out of mind. It will happen like that. But we might think, oh, nothing has happened to me because I might have committed that offense, but nothing has happened to me. But wait for a few years, 10 years, 12 years, and the reactions will come. Very heavy reactions will come. So we should not think that, I've committed offense and I don't see any reactions immediately happening. So maybe, I've not committed offense and nothing is going to happen to me. No, reactions will definitely come. Gopal Chappal committed a very serious offense to Srivas Thakur. Because of being envious of Srivas Thakur, he kept the paraphernalia of Durga worship in front of his house. And next day, when Srivas Thakur opened the door, he saw all this. There was liquor, there was all these paraphernalia worship of Durga, meat and all. And immediately he called the neighbors and see, this is what Srivas does in the night. He takes the name of Hare Krishna, but at night secretly he is worshipping Kali. So Narad Muni or Srivas Thakur very humbly accepted it. And immediately Gopal immediately got a severe reaction that he developed a very severe disease. So in the Chaitanya Leela, especially in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, we'll see in the Chaitanya Bhagavat and the Chaitanya Charitamrita, whatever offenses were committed towards the pure devotees, there was immediate effect of reactions. Gopal Chakravarti committed an offense to Haridas Thakur in that Sabha, Govardhan Majumdar and Hiram Majumdar, when the glories of the holy name were spoken. And you are speaking that just by taking Naam, you'll immediately attain liberation. The Gyanis for thousands and thousands of births do tapasya to attain liberation. That so easily we can attain. So he heavily, not understanding the glories of the name, condemned the scriptures and condemned the speaker of the scriptures, that is Haridas Thakur. And within 2-3 days, his nose melted and he severely was afflicted with a disease. So in the Chaitanya Leela, the reactions for the offenses, because Mahaprabhu was present, immediately used to take effect. But after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has left now, and now his Aprakat Leela is going on, when we commit offenses, the reactions come over a period of time, maybe 10 years, 12 years. So we should not think that, I've committed offense and, I'm not facing the reactions for it. Even what to speak from an Ayurvedic perspective, especially students who are young, they abuse the body by sometimes staying late in the night and for study or whatever purpose it is. Night, the body is meant for sleeping. Even the plants go to sleep after sunset. So the body is meant to take a rest in the night. And when we avoid this night sleep for many years, by nature, the reaction the body will get. So as a youth, one who is 18, 20, he might not suffer any reaction. But wait for 5-10 years. When he crosses 30, 35, he gets severe health problems, severe diseases. All that is because of the night outs, what he did during his college days. So even Ayurvedically, from the Ayurvedic perspective, the nature's reactions for abusing the law of nature in terms of using the body, also reactions come over a period of time. But even the Vaishnava Aparadh reactions come over a period of time. So that is a very important point for us to understand. Dharma Yoga Yaja Jnana Kanda Parihari Ye Bhajila Krishna Nam Se Sarvo Pavari. Anyone who, turning away from Dharma, Yoga, Yagya and Jnana Kanda part of the Vedas, instead worships Krishna, Krishna's holy name, is the best of the persons. So such a Vaishnava, we should not, he has left the path of Dharma, Varnashram Dharma here, Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, the path of Yagyas, that is the Karma Kanda portion, and then the path of the Jnana Kanda, that is the Upanishads, the Jnanis. So that is why Krishna also in the Gita, when he says, Api Chetsu Duracharo, Bhajate Mam Ananya Bhak. Bhajate Mam Ananya Bhak means he worships me. It's not that he is completely a pure devotee who is practicing Ananya Bhakti. He worships exclusively me and he doesn't take up to the path of karma, jnana, yoga and other paths. Sadhu eva samantavya. He is a sadhu. That's what Krishna is saying. He's a sadhu. So that is why if such a sadhu you find faults, then you commit Vaishnav Aparad. So anyone who has taken up to the path of the chanting of the holy names, he is the best among all the spiritual practitioners. So that is the point Bhaktivinoda Thakur is making here. So here in the next verses, section 62 to 69, again, Bhaktivinoda Thakur brings out the saintly character of a Vaishnava. A saintly person who takes shelter of the holy name does not blaspheme the demigods or other scriptures. So this is another quality of a Vaishnava who has taken shelter of the holy name. He doesn't blaspheme the demigods or even the other scriptures. This is spoken from text 62 to 69. So let us take text 62 to 69. 62. Anya devera anya shastrera shastra nakari nindan namera ashralay shuddha sadhu jana. A pure saintly person who takes shelter of the holy name does not blaspheme the demigods or other scriptures. So this also we should be very, very careful in devotee circle that as Vaishnavas, we see that demigods are the administrative controls of the cosmic creation appointed by Krishna. In one sense, they are the servants of Krishna and they are also Vaishnavas. So we should respect the demigods. And those who are following other scriptures, be it the Vedic or the non-Vedic, condemning them also in one sense is not beneficial. It is not at all good. So that is why we should be very careful not to condemn the other scriptures. We should be very, very broad-minded about it, even of the non-Vedic scriptures practitioners. Everyone is a spirit soul, and everyone according to his level of consciousness, he has taken up to the practice of spiritual life. Maybe he's not following the Vedic tradition, he might be following the non-Vedic tradition or the other religions apart from the Vedic religion, but still we should respect them. So this is very important, and this is where sometimes we can go wrong. And I know some cases where devotees were very heavy on followers of other religion and they used to heavily condemn them also. So that is not at all favorable for a Vaishnava. Se sadhu grahastha hao athava sannyasi tahara charana renu paite prayasi. Whether he's a householder or a sannyasi, I yearn to attain the dust of such a saintly person's feet. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that such a sadhu, be he a grahastha or a sannyasi, I yearn to take his dust of such a person. So in the previous section, he had mentioned about whether a person is a grahastha or a sannyasi. We have to see that one quality, Krishneka Sharan. Krishneka Sharan. If he surrendered to Krishna, then he is a sadhu. So that's how. Now, such a sadhu, whether he is a grahastha or a sannyasi, I yearn to take the dust of such a saintly person. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was from the sannyas order of the life. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was a grahastha. And yet when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to leave for his South India tour, he took the permission of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. In fact, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was not ready to give. So after a lot of persuasion, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya agreed to leave. And while leaving, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was walking behind. And then he told that I did not know the glory of a Vaishnava, but there is Ramanand Rai, you meet him. He knows all the confidential secrets of Krishna Tattva. And that time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, please bless me. Stay at home and take the name of holy name and kindly bless me. So sannyasi, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught that even we can take blessings from the grahasthas. During Bhaktivinoda Thakur's time, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was a Grahastha, and he was a Mahabhagavat also, we know that. So he used to invite sannyasis to come to his house for taking prasad. And the sannyasis is to feel fortunate to take prasad in a sadhu's house like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, although he was a Grahastha. Usually, the Grahasthas call the sannyasis so that the sannyasis can bless the Grahasthas. But the sannyasis who used to go to Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house to take prasad, they used to go so that they can get the blessings of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, because Bhaktivinoda Thakur was a Grahastha. So this ashram bhed, is external. We have to see Krishna Sharan. Another factor what we have to see, Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentions in the next verse. Yave yata name rati sei tata Vaishnava Vaishnavara krama eimate anubhava. A Vaishnava's level of advancement in spiritual life is determined by the extent of his attraction for the holy name. Yabe yata name rati. Rati means attraction. Tata Vaishnava. Vaishnavara krama. Eimata anubhav. The level, whatever his level, how can you judge his level? Based on his attraction for the holy name. How much he is attracted to the chanting of the holy names. That is the only criteria. Whether he is a Grahastha or a Sannyasi. If a Grahastha has more attraction for chanting of the holy name, then he is a very advanced Vaishnava. So here is a footnote. A person is an elevated Vaishnava to the degree he is attracted to Lord Krishna's holy name. So this is the only factor. I know one Grahastha Vaishnava, I'm just using the term now. So he's a Grahastha, but he's very much holding seminars on the holy name, and many devotees from various parts of the country and even sometimes abroad come to attend his japa seminars and his chanting sessions. And not only that, many brahmacharis also come for those chanting sessions. So he has taste for chanting and he's attracted to chanting Krishna's name. So he's highly advanced Vaishnava. So that's how we should see. Ithi varnashrama dhana panditya yovana kono karya nahi kare rupa bala jana. His varnashram status, wealth, learning, youthfulness, handsome features, bodily strength, or host of followers have no bearing on his spiritual status. So you cannot judge a Vaishnava based on how many disciples or followers he has, how many temples he has built, how many wonderful lectures he has given, or the external status of the varnashram, or how much wealth he possesses or learning he has. Only the criteria is attraction for the holy name. That is the only criteria. Athaivayini karilena namashray sadhu ninda chadibena ei dharma nishchay. Therefore, athaiva, a person who takes shelter of the holy name, ini karilena namashray. We have all taken shelter of the holy name. Sadhu ninda chadibena. Avoid criticizing saintly devotees. So this is the instruction. Avoid criticizing saintly devotees. This is his nature. A dharma nishchay. So one nature, if we can inculcate in us, that we always try to avoid criticizing devotees in general. We just avoid criticizing devotees. And we see that all have taken shelter of the holy name, and we have also taken shelter of the holy name. There is a beautiful statement of Sanatana Goswami. Sanatana Goswami, among the 6 Goswamis, was a very famous Goswami who had so much love for Brajbasis. And the Brajbasis so much loved him that Sanatana Goswami used to go to every village in Braj and he used to stay there for some time. And he used to go to every house to pray, beg Madhukari. And although many during that time also were not like, in one sense, not like directly taken up to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement where they're chanting the holy names and they have fully taken shelter of the holy name. They are simple, pure Brajbasis staying. And Sanatan Goswami used to go and beg Madhukari in their house. They used to ask how is their health, how is your daughter doing, how is your son-in-law doing. So he used to ask about everyone's genuine well-being. And all the Brajvasis in that village were so much attracted to Sanatan Goswami. And when he used to leave that village after a few days, the entire village used to come out to see him off and is to feel separation from Sanatan Goswami. Sanatan Goswami saw them not just as Brajbasis, but the eternal associates of Krishna who are residing here, who are residing in Braj. So that's how Sanatan Goswami saw. They are not ordinary people staying in the Dham. They are actually true Brajvasis who are living in the spiritual world only. So that's how Sanatan Goswami saw, and that's why Sanatan Goswami dealt with them like that. And whenever some Vaishnavas is to come and complain about another Vaishnava to Sanatan Goswami is to say, because he is doing devotional service, I don't see any fault in him. So that was the highest standard of Sanatan Goswami. So we should try to practice this, and by which one thing will happen to us. We will get Nam Ruchi. We will get taste for chanting if we can avoid criticism. So here Bhaktivinoda Thakur is mentioning that in the next verse. Namashraya Shuddha Bhakti Bhakta Bhakti Rupa Bhakta Bhakti Vivarjita Hoila Virupa. A devotee who takes shelter of the holy name, Namashraya, and engages in pure devotional service, Shuddha Bhakti, he becomes like devotional service personified. Bhakta Bhakti Rupa. That devotee becomes the personification of devotional service. The so-called devotee who has no devotion for the Lord, Bhakta Bhakti Vivarjita, is a grostuk person, a monster. Haila Virupa. So a monster is like a form which is very ugly and very odd shape. So those who are so-called devotees and they have no devotion, he's like a monster. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is very heavy here. Yana sadhu ninda tana nahi bhakti sthiti athaiva aparade thata parinati. A person who blasphemes a saintly devotee, yatha sadhu ninda, has no status in devotional service. Tana nahi bhakti sthiti. He is not having any status in devotional service. Adhaeva aprataha praharniti. His offense turns him into a non-devotee. So now we can understand who is a devotee and a non-devotee. Moment we commit an offense, our devotional status changes. From a devotee, we become a non-devotee. That's how severe is Vaishnav Ninda, or especially Sadhu Ninda. Sadhu Ninda Chadi Bhakta Sadhu Bhakti Kare Sadhu Sangha Sadhu Seva A Dharmachare. Therefore, Athaiva, a true devotee, he has told about a non-devotee, a true devotee should avoid criticizing saintly devotees. Sadhu Ninda Chadi, he should be devoted to them. Association with saintly devotees and service to them are the activities of true religion. Dharma Acharan. What is Dharma Acharan? Sadhu Bhakta Kari. He should be devoted to them, he should associate with them, and he should do Sadhu Seva. So three things. We should be devoted to sadhus, means the sannyasis. We should have their association, and we should do Sadhu Seva. Three things are the symptoms of a true devotee. A true devotee does this three things. Any questions, any clarifications? If you have, you can raise your hand. Now, Yesterday I had discussed this, how the Krishna's spiritual potency, Ladini Shakti, is there and which gets transmitted. And which are the types of offenses? It is because of low birth, previous sins of this life, traces of previous sinful habits at present, and then accidental sin. We find faults. These are the types of ninda. And then when we commit an aparadh, this is very interesting. When we commit an aparadh, what happens? When we commit an aparadh, the bhakti shakti, which is lying in the heart of the pure devotee, what happens? There is a wall created. Not only a wall is created between the sadhu and the offender, around him also there is another wall which is created. So that's why the bhakti shakti doesn't get transmitted, and that's why it is so severe that we lose taste for chanting Krishna's name. So this is the summary of what is discussed in 62 to 69. The effect of aparadh, that there is block in the flow of the mercy coming from the Mahabhagat because of criticizing a Vaishnava. And one of the symptoms, as I was mentioning, is that we lose taste and we go in bad association. So that is why we should be very, very careful. We should see whether we are in the association of devotees, getting taste for discussing Krishna Katha, yes or no. If it is little no, then immediately we should detect that something is going wrong and we should act upon it. So any questions up till now, whatever we have discussed, 62 to 69 verses? Any questions, any clarifications anyone has? Swapnil Prabhuji? Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Welcome.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, my question is, if the progress is hindered because of Vaishnav Ninda, then his devotional life in current life will be over. Will he be given chance again in the next life?
Why to speak about the next life? Even in this life only, when he commits a Vaishnava aparadh and he rectifies it, immediately it is taken care, and the remedy will be given by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Immediately it will be taken care. But if the gravity of the offense is so severe that the entire Bhakti Lata creeper is only completely uprooted, then one thing what happens is that he completely leaves the association of the Vaishnavas, and for him to come back, it becomes difficult because the offense is acting like a blockage. And because of that blockage, he is not able to come. He has to again start his spiritual life from Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Anarth Nivritti, like that. So maybe in this life he can do it, but sometimes it might go to the next life. So that's why, depending on the gravity of the offense I'm speaking. But generally, the small offenses what we commit in the association of devotees, when we immediately understand, we have to rectify it. And we should follow the instructions of Bhaktivinoda Thakur and work internally on our sadhana and be in good association. And definitely we can see that we make a quick progress and come out of this Namaparad stage. Any other questions? Any other clarification anyone has? Okay, Virendra Yadav Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, verse 67 translation, last statement says, a so-called devotee who has no devotion for the Lord, which is a crude person or monster. This term, no devotion, if you can elaborate, Prabhuji. No devotion for the Lord.
A true devotee takes shelter of the holy name and engages in pure devotional service. he becomes a devotional service personified. A so-called devotee who has no devotion for the Lord is a monster. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is giving two extremes here. Two extremes. One is a Mahabhagavat who is Murtiman Swarup of devotion service. He fully takes shelter of the holy name and fully is engaged in devotional service. Other is, he has no devotion and, he might, be a so-called devotee. This can refer to even the Sahajiyas. They are externally, they make a show of having devotion, but actually they don't have any devotion because they don't practice according to Shruti, Smriti and Pancharatri. All the, they don't practice devotion according to the Shastras, regulative principles. So even in the association of devotees, there might be some people who come and they externally, they might, portray themselves as devotees. I'm also devotee, but they come with some intentions in the association of devotees for some ulterior motive. So they are also like so-called devotees. They have no devotion, and that's why they are called as monsters. So that's what Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying here. Okay, so we will go to the next section now. The next section, Bhaktivinoda Thakur from 70 to 72 and further onwards till almost like till 77. What are the reasons by which we commit this Vaishnava Ninda, criticism of Vaishnava? That reasons he brings out. Now text 72 to 72, he brings out this Asat Sang Dui Prakar Tan Madhe Stri Sangi. So bad association is of two kinds, and of the two, improper association with women. So the reason we find fault in Vaishnavas is because of bad association. And among that, he speaks about Stri Sangha, improper association with women. So let us see which are the two types of bad association. Asat Sangha Tyage Hoy Vaishnava Achar, Asat Sangha Sange Hoy Sadhu Avagyapar. A Vaishnava should always avoid the association of ordinary people. Asat Sangha Tyag Hoy Vaishnavachar. So this was also the first instruction what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave to his devotees. Asat Sangha Tyag, a Vaishnavachar. So same thing Bhaktivinoda Thakur is repeating here. Asat Sange Hoy Sadhu Avagyapar. By associating with non-devotees, one comes to criticize saintly devotees. So when we associate with ordinary people or non-devotees, abhaktas, then the tendency to criticize Vaishnavas comes in. So now Bhaktivinoda Thakur is going to the root and telling us how this sadhu ninda happens because of asat sang. And then now he goes into the details. Asat ei dvi prakar sarva shastre kahe sei duira madhe yoshit sangi eka hoy. According to scriptures, Shastra kahe, Sarva Shastra kahe, bad association is of two kinds. Asat Sangha, Dui Prakar. Of the two, say Duira Madhe. One is to improperly associate with women. Yoshit Sangi Ekahoy. To improperly associate with women. So there is a footnote here, text 13. Avoidance of bad association is an important activity for a Vaishnava. Bad association is of two kinds. Improper association with women and association with devotees, non-devotees, sorry. So there, first he had mentioned about two kinds of association. One is association with ordinary people, and then the second one is association with women. So these are the two. Association with a man too attached to woman is also said to be bad association. Association with women according to religious principles and association with women not according to religious principles are two kinds of association with women. So there is two kinds of improper association with women. Directly associating with women or even associating with men who are attached to women. That is still more dangerous. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur comes to that in the next verse. Yoshit Sangi, Yoshit Sangi Sangi, Puna Tara Madhya Ganya, Tara Sanga Tyaje, Jiva Hoibeke Dhanya. Associating with a man who is too attached to woman is also considered bad association. Yoshit Sanga Sangi, Puna Tara Madhe Ganya. So association of women is improper association, and association with men who are too attached to women, who are too addicted to women, that is still more bad. It is still more considered bad. Now again, there is a footnote. Association with a man too attached to a woman is a great impediment to devotional service. A spirit soul who avoids associating with such persons becomes fortunate. Now here, see the benefit that if we can avoid this asat sanga, first is of ordinary people, secondly of women, and then in that, Bhaktivinoda Thakur has mentioned men who are addicted to women. So this is so important for us. Now, I have a question to all of you, and if you would like to answer, raise your hands. Among the two, association with women and association with men who are attached to women, which is more dangerous and which we might do not knowing it? Can you answer? If you want to answer, you can raise your hands. Anyone would like to answer? Anyone else would like to answer? I hope everyone is clear with the question. Anyone else? Okay, Virendra Prabhuji, what's your answer?
Prabhuji, it is association with man who is too attached with woman. It is more dangerous. And this we do sometimes unknowingly.
Yes, because we don't know his, previous background, and association with such men who are not very much attached to women. This kind of association is more dangerous. And okay, now it's clear. The answer is clear. So in one of the commentaries in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Vishwanath Chandra Thakur brings out a point. Now, which is more beneficial? Again, the question now, please hear very attentively. Which is more beneficial, to directly associate with Krishna, if we have that opportunity, or to associate with a pure devotee? Among the two, which is highly potent? Raise your hand, who would like to answer? Anyone else? Okay, Virendra Yadav Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, it is to associate with pure devotee. It is more beneficial.
Yes, many have answered also in the chat box, to associate with a pure devotee. So, by associating with the pure devotee, we can easily get Krishna. But there's no guarantee that if we get association of Krishna, we can get pure devotion. No, Krishna cannot give that pure devotion to us. Many associated with Krishna when Krishna was there during Krishna Leela, and many were demons that time, and many Krishna had to kill them. So Vishnu Chakra Thakur brings this point. He says, just like associating with Krishna's devotees is more potent than directly associating with Krishna, similarly, he says, he turns this Yoshit Sangha, associating directly with women, still more dangerous is to associate with men who are addicted to women. So the opposite, he gives the answer, like that is what Vishnu Chakra Thakur does. So then further, in in two verses, he speaks about improper association with women. Krishnera samsare e dampatya dharma thake asat bolia shastra na bole thahake. A husband and a wife may stay together in Krishna conscious family life. Krishnera samsar. It is not their family life, it is Krishna conscious family life. Dampatya. Dampatya means husband and wife. Dharma thake. So that is dharmic. Asat bolia shastra na bole thake. The scriptures do not call that bad association. So the husband and wife coming together to serve Krishna, and their association is not considered bad association. Adharma samyoge ara strainya bhave rata yoshit sangi jana dushta shastrera sammata. According to the scriptures, shastrera sammata, a person who is attached to women, yoshit sangi jana, in a way that breaks the rules of religion, is wicked. Adharma samyoga or strainya bhave rata. So in the scriptures, it is mentioned that a person, if he is attached to women, then he is breaking the rules of dharma. So this Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in the context for the grahasthas, what is right association, he is speaking here. Now, in one more verse, the second kind of bad association, associations with persons who are not devotees of Lord Krishna, is of three kinds. Dvitiya prakar asad krishneta bhakta teen prakar. So we know now, very systematic analysis Bhaktivinoda Thakur said. Asad sangha dui prakar. Now first he has spoken about Sri Sangha, and now about the ordinary people. So the ordinary people, he says there are three types. Krishnete abhakta asada dvitiya prakar mayavadi dharmadvaji nirishwar are. Wicked persons who are not devotees of Lord Krishna are of three kinds. Mayavadi, hypocrites who wrap themselves in the garb of religion, they are called as dharmadvaji, and the atheist, nirishwar. 15th footnote. Here the word Mayavadi refers to persons who believe that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not eternal, that the form of Lord Krishna and the other forms of the Lord are all made of Maya, and that the individual souls are also made of Maya. The hypocrites who wrap themselves in the flag of religion are persons who have neither devotion nor renunciation in their hearts and are only cheaters wearing the garments of a saintly person and putting a show of performing spiritual activities. So the footnotes is who is a Mayavadi and who is a Dharmadvaji is given here. So there are these three types which Bhaktivinoda Thakur has mentioned in the second type of non-devotee association. Ini bole na ei sab lokera nindaka o sadhu ninda bole tini o varjaya. One should avoid persons who criticize saintly persons. Varjila ei sab sanga sadhu ninda nai ihake ei ninda boli se varja hoy. So text 67, what it says, one should avoid the association of persons who criticize saintly devotees. So one is you should avoid these non-devotees and even avoid the other association of women, and also avoid association of persons who criticize saintly devotees. So within the Vaishnava circle also you'll find a group of devotees who have this habit, and they have their separate circle and they go and talk, and that talk is also all prajalpa, and we should be very careful about it. We should be very, very careful about it. Ei sab sanga chadi ananya sharana Krishna nama karipaya Krishna prema dhana. Anyone who avoids such persons, chants Lord Krishna's holy names and takes full shelter of Lord Krishna and no one else, he attains the great treasure of pure love for Lord Krishna. So here the solution is, the root cause of doing sadhu ninda is because of bad association, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur has gone quite in detail of what that kind of bad association is. And if we avoid that, then we can get the great treasure of Krishna Prem. So here in the chart, maybe I have summarized everything. Causes of sadhu ninda: asatsang, association with women outside of marriage, within marriage, but husband under the control of wife, with persons associating with women. And then non-devotee, Mayavadis, pretenders, atheists, and even Devta worshippers. So all these are the causes of sadhu ninda. Any questions, any clarifications anyone has? Okay, so it's almost 8:30. It's just 8:28. So then we will stop here.